Left in this series, couple of games left in the homestand. The Twins want to win them both and win this series with the Cleveland Indians. Twins lost the opener last night and lost a game in the standings to the first place Chicago White Sox. Detroit, Minnesota, each 2.5 games back in the American League Central. And we are here at Target Field. Burt Blythe and Dick Bramer for Game 2 between the Twins and the Indians. If you're a contending team, every game you're playing this time of the year is critically important. If you're a non-contending team, the most important games are those games against the contenders. The Indians have had a lot of those since the break, and they passed the test.
Well, they really have 5-0 since the break. You know, the sweep of the Detroit Tigers, you know, the first 4 ball games and last night's ball game. How have they done it? Well, they're hitting 20 hits in last night's ball game, hitting .311 as a ball club. The pitching has been very good. Starters have been outstanding, as well as the bullpen. But this Indian ball club going into the break was playing pretty good. They've won 13 of their last 20 ball games.
Well, the Twins would like to get into that pattern again where they're winning series. To do that, they need to win tonight and tomorrow. And to that end, some encouraging notes. Kevin Slowey and Francisco Liriano, tomorrow's starter, have already beaten the Indians twice this year.
Yeah, and those starts for Kevin Slowey were in the month of April. In his third start of the year, his best outing of the year came against the Cleveland Indians. That's his last start on April 30th, but it's the one on April 20th that he pitched so well. 8 innings. Key for Kevin Slowey, we're showing you right there. Keep the ball down in the strike zone and keep the ball in the ballpark. But if he can do that, hopefully he'll get that handshake like he did right there from pitching coach Rick Anderson.
Twins gave up 20 hits and a loss last night. They're hoping Kevin Slowey can do much better than that here tonight. When we come back, we'll honor one of Minnesota's 50 greatest, closer Rick Aguilera. Ford dealer. Visit your local Northland Ford dealer or go to northlandford.com. By Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. And by Bud Light, the sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
What a beautiful night for baseball here in downtown Minneapolis as the Twins are going to play the Cleveland Indians in Game 2 of a 3-game set here at home as we welcome you to Twins Baseball on Fox Sports North. I'm Robbie Smikowski. In honor of the Twins' 50th season here in Minnesota, they're honoring the 50 greatest Twins. The list was comprised by a group of television, print, and radio journalists, as well as senior members of the Twins staff. Tonight, we honor former Twins closer Rick Aguilera. He was an all-star, and he's a member of the Minnesota Twins Hall of Fame. Here to tell his story is another Twins all-star, closer Joe Nathan.
Rick Aguilera arrived as one of 5 pitchers acquired in a trade deadline deal that sent the reigning American League Cy Young Award winner Frank Viola to the New York Mets in 1989. He came as an accomplished starting pitcher, having won 31 games in 3 seasons as a Mets 5th starter. Aggie was moved into the closer role prior to the 1990 campaign. It was a perfect fit for a guy whose body and demeanor did not follow the norm for modern closers. Despite his less than intimidating physical appearance, he saved 32 games for a last-place club in 1990. The next year was even better when he set a franchise record with 42 saves, helping the Twins achieve a worst-to-first world championship. Aguilera recorded 5 postseason saves and a victory in the Twins' dramatic win in Game 6 of the World Series, when Kirby Puckett's 11th inning blast made sure the Twins would play again tomorrow night. Aggie was a 3-time All-Star, and his 254 saves are the most ever by a Twins pitcher. Anthony LaPanta, Fox Sports North.
Joe Nathan, Rick Aguilera near one another in all-time saves. Kevin Slowey tonight looks for his 9th win of the season. First pitch next on Fox Sports North.
Ball at target field. Kevin Slowey hoping to give the Twins a good start, and the Twins hope to even the series at a game apiece. The Menards batting order for the Cleveland Indians, who I want to say they pounded out 20 hits. They scratched out 20 hits in yesterday's game. Almost all of them singles. As Drupal Cabrera back in the lineup for the Indians in the Menards batting order. Jason Nix, Carlos Santana, Travis Hafner, Johnny Peralta, Matt Laporta, Shelley Duncan. Trevor Crowe got 4 of those hits yesterday, and then Jason Donald.
Yeah, 20 hits, 5 doubles, 15 singles. And Kevin Slowey, let's take a look at our Dodge Ram scouting report on Slowey, making his 19th start. This is his 3rd start against the Indians. He's had success against the Indians. 2-0 this year, 5-2 over his career in 8 career starts. And a guy that needs to keep the ball down in the strike zone. One thing Rick Anderson, I put that on the scouting report, I talked to Rick Anderson, out in the bullpen, Kevin Slowey's hitting his spots. They said out here he's kind of struggling a little bit, and it's basically because he's just trying to do a little bit too much. They're trying to get him to relax a little bit.
We saw that in his last start against the White Sox. Joe Mauer would set up down and away, and the pitch would be down and in. And you know, Slowey's game is control. He doesn't have overpowering stuff. He needs to hit his spots.
He needs to hit his spots, and you know he did that last year. Remember, before his surgery, he was 10-3. He was painting the corners, and that's where they know Kevin Slowey can do it. Now it becomes more the mental and the relaxation part of the game.
2 quick strikes to Asdrubal Cabrera, just off the disabled list. Broke his arm and was activated before today's game. Fouled back, still 2 strikes.
Yeah, broke his arm back in the middle of May and just getting activated, so a couple months on a disabled list. Actually, his teammate, Johnny Peralta, fell on his arm right around second base. So, Indians very happy to have Cabrera back in the lineup in his 4th season with the Indians.
Outside 1-2.
Cabrera, switch hitter, is a left-handed hitter, hitting .292. 277 from the right side of the plate.
One and two to Asdrubal Cabrera. Swung on and missed. One away. Northland Ford defense for the Twins. In the absence of Justin Morneau, Jason Kubel getting right field with Kadire moving into the infield. Span and Young in the outfield. Nick Punto at third. Hardy and Hudson up the middle. Kadire at first. Mauer behind the plate. And Slowey with a strikeout. And already his second start after the break is off to a better start than his first start after the break. Fouled away. In his start against Chicago, he gave up 4 hits and a couple of runs in the first. 3 hits, a home run, and a couple of runs in the second. Got through the third, ran into immediate difficulty in the fourth, and never got an out in the fourth inning.
Well, one thing that Rick Anderson also told me is he wants Kevin Slowey to work with Joe Mauer and let Joe Mauer call the ball game. Don't shake off. Remember in that game, I mean, Joe went back and forth. He looked like Carlton Fisk going back and forth between, Kevin and Joe home plate. And you know what? Trust your catcher. Go over the hitters before the ball game. Now execute as the game goes on. So let Joe call the game, and hopefully good things will happen.
And Slowey gets ahead of the number 2 hitter, and a foul off the bat of Nix.
And I only say that because Slowey sometimes, and it's well documented, that sometimes he tries to overthink. He tries to trick the hitter rather than what got him here. And that's a good fastball down. That's a hard breaking ball. Curveball is a changeup, and then also an off-speed pitch.
Two strikes to Nix. And a swing, I think he went. Slowly starts his night with a pair of Ks.
And there's a good pitch down in the strike zone. You'll get hitters to chase, and this was like a little slider down. Mauer sitting outer half. And a good pitch right there at 86 miles an hour. Nix couldn't hold up. And a good start for Slowey.
And now Carlos Santana. We're getting a first look at Santana. We've heard of him. And it's based on one game and just the way he carries himself. The Twins are going to be stuck dealing with this guy for quite some time. He looks like, as Indians have reshuffled things and rebuilt, somebody the Twins are going to have to contend with for a long time.
His build reminds me of the catcher that caught me in Pittsburgh, Ed Ott. Very stocky, very strong looking young man, only 24 years old. Came over from the Dodger organization in the Casey Blake trade back in 2008.
And now Slowey falls behind him 2-0. Wearing Victor Martinez's old number 41, and like Martinez, a switch hitter, power from both sides of the plate. He just looks like a keeper, and one that the Indians are going to build around. They brought him up, put him into the third spot in the batting order. Fouled away.
That's a pretty good sign right there. I mean, when you got a youngster just kind of in his first year at the major league level, put right into that number 3 hole in that batting order, says a lot of what Manny Acta thinks about this young man.
Twins baseball brought to you in Sony High Definition.
Santana started in the minor leagues this year, got called up on June 11th.
Santana backs out of the box. Doug Eddings says, hey, come on, let's go. After a game last night, it was long for everybody. You can't blame the home plate umpire for trying to establish some pace to this game. A called strike 2-2.
Good fastball in right there. Yeah, and that's one thing I talked to Rick Anderson too about. They want Slowey and all the pitchers to work a little quicker. You know, Ron Gardenhire mentioned it in the post game last night that it was just an ugly game because of the tempo of the ball game. Get the ball, let it go. Trust your stuff.
3-2. Santana in the box, and Travis Hafner will hit next.
Slowey making his 19th start. This is his 11th start here at Target Field. He's won 5 of the 8 games he's won so far here at Target Field. Very good ERA at 4.15.
And a foul over the Cleveland dugout. What's been so exasperating, I think, for Twins fans to watch Slowey and Baker and Blackburn struggle, the Twins would love if any or all of them had stepped up and gotten to that next level. But right now, what the Twins are hoping for is that they can just simply return to what they were as recently as last year. Effective, reliable, consistent starting pitchers. Here's a drive to right. Not going to be caught, and it's hard off the wall. Santana will be held to a single. Last night, Jason Kubel, or was it 2 days ago, I guess, threw out a runner at second base. And Kubel has really embraced right field, given a chance to play out there every day.
He played to Karam perfect. We have not seen, this is maybe the 3rd ball that has actually hit that limestone out in right field. It's a line drive, so Kubel knows this ball's over his head. Now he just has to hopefully get into the right spot when it hits the limestone and it comes back to him. So perfectly played by Jason Kubel, and that keeps Santana at first base.
And now Hafner.
In that April 20th game where Kevin Slowey threw 8 innings against the Indians, the only mistake he made was to this guy right here. He gave Hafner a home run in his first at-bat in the 2nd inning. That was it. Allowed only 5 hits, 1 run. Struck out 9 in that ball game and beat Justin Masterson, who's pitching tonight for the Indians, 5-1 in that ball game.
1-0 to Hafner.
After, of course, from Jamestown, North Dakota, in his 8th season with the Indians. And there goes Joe Mauer.
And looking in the Twins dugout, Ron Gardenhire head down. This is what they didn't want to have happen.
Right.
And Gardy looking maybe at Rick Anderson saying, well, how long did we really think this was going to last?
Well, you have to really trust your catcher. Now, I've said before that, you know, it's your decision. You're the one that has to throw the baseball as far as a pitcher, but you want to really be on the same page as your catcher. And, you know, hopefully that's the only time that they have this little back and forth during the ballgame conversation. Talk about it, too, on the bench. Don't be sitting on one side of the dugout while your catcher's on the other.
And Slowey misses 2-0. Remember last year, and the Twins went through a similar situation with Francisco Liriano. And to the extent Liriano has turned his career back around and is looks like he's going to be an effective starting pitcher in the big leagues, one of the reasons is they finally got through to him to trust his catcher. Remember, Liriano so many times last year said, well, I'm confused out there. I don't know what pitch to throw. And the response was, well, look at the catcher. He'll tell you.
But it's not only during the ballgame, Dick. It's also sitting on the bench and talking about who's coming up next or the next three hitters. And then have a game plan. And then you adjust to the stuff you have because every game is different for a pitcher. As far as velocity, control of the breaking ball. A little cutter inside makes Hafner jump out of the way.
3-1 with Peralta on deck.
And try to stay out of counts like this. Hitters counts. That's one thing that hurt Baker last night. He always seemed to fall behind 2-1, 3-1, and have to come in with a fastball that was belt high, if not higher.
Santana at first with a 2-out single. Now 3-1 to the cleanup hitter.
There you
hard,
go.
but right at Hudson. That'll end the inning. So Slowey gives up a 2-out single, leaves him aboard, and it's no score after a half.
Nice.
And the Menards batting order for the Twins. Menards span on top. Orlando Hudson with an 8-game hitting streak. And then Joe Mauer, Jason Kubel, Michael Kadire, Jim Thome, Delman Young, J.J. Hardy, and then Nick Punto hitting ninth.
And a cheap scouting report on Justin Masterson making his 19th start, just like Kevin Slowey. This is his third start against the Twins, as it is for Kevin Slowey. Being consistent has been a challenge for Masterson, coming over from the Boston Red Sox, put into the starting rotation. He went through a stretch where he lost 11 straight, but he's picked it up a little bit. He relies on a good sinking fastball and a sharp slider.
The guy he's really had a tough time with is Denard Span leading things off. Span and Masterson have locked up 13 times. And Span has reached 9 times on 5 walks, 4 hits, and a home run.
Yeah, it's the walks that has really hurt Masterson. You know, he'll give up, more hits the innings pitched, but he's walked 48 batters in 105 innings. So Twins want to show some patience here against Masterson.
1-1 to Span. Outside 2-1. The Indians, as we said last night, have issued more walks than anybody in the league. There's a drive to center, and Span's aboard again. Continuing to do well. The ball kicked out there, and Span digs for second. And I'm thinking he might get a double with that. It is a double with Span driving one hard toward right center field.
Yeah, Trevor Crowe out in center field. He had to go way to his left. Span giving it a ride right here and on the grass, taking off, but you can see him kind of misplay it a little bit. Maybe took his eye off it. But Span rounding the bag aggressively. Now you see if Span rounds the bag and stops and then goes to second, then it's probably a base hit and an error. But the way that Span went about his business, he ends up getting a double, his 14th of the year.
We'll bring up Hudson with the corner infielders up. And the first pitch fouled back. Peralta and Laporta are both right about on the edge of the grass. I think the Twins are likely to try to play for just one run here, but nevertheless, there they are.
Hey, Hudson been swinging a hot bat, currently on an 8-game hitting streak where he's hitting .394. 13 hits in his last 33 at-bats.
Liner to the second. Oh, it's over the glove of the second baseman, Donald. And now Span will go to third. He might have been peeking at the base runner because the ball was hit right to him.
Yeah, that should be an error right there. That's a ball that Donald needs to catch. And I'm sure, Dick, you're exactly right. He's probably looking at Span. Now, Hudson hitting the ball. Donald has to leap right here, not very high. And the ball pretty much hit right at him. But the ball getting through him. We'll see how they rule it here, but Span moving over to third as Hudson's at first.
So first and third, and Mauer at the plate. And strike one. Mauer's batting average back below 300 by a couple of points, 3 points.
Yeah, not a lot of at-bats against Masterson. 3 hits and 8 at-bats for Joe. And they give Hudson a base hit.
Oh, my.
Thank you very much.
Grounded right side off the glove of Laporta. And now he waits and finally retires Mauer, who gets credit for an RBI. It could very easily have been a double play had Laporta fielded the ball cleanly. And the Indians are really struggling with the leather. Let's take a look at how they line up. Nixon left. Pros bobbled it in center field. Duncan's in right. Peralta's at third. Cabrera's at short. Donald's bobbled one. Laporta's bobbled one. And so far, Santana's caught everything that the Twins haven't put in play.
Well, you can see center field. You see Crow right there. That sun could be a factor. But Laporta does get the out. Throw to second. Hudson able to get back. Well, Mauer picking up his 41st RBI on that ground ball to Laporta at first.
And now Kubel. Kubel's batting average spiking upward steadily. It seems like every game Kubel's getting 2-3 hits a game now, and the average up to 271.
Yeah, remember when he was hitting about 210, 220, everybody, boy, what's wrong with Jason Kubel? Well, this guy's a good hitter.
And now Santana has a hard time catching one. Should be a wild pitch, I suspect, for Masterson.
Well, he's got such a good sinker, and a lot of times that ball will land right on the other side of home plate. This will be a wild pitch, his 8th wild pitch of the year. You can see the movement on that ball. It kind of rolled right up the arm of Santana. And that allows Hudson to go to third.
Infield back. Kubel takes a strike, 1-2. Maniac pushing his second baseman Donald back to the edge of the outfield grass. And a big strikeout of Kubel for out number 2. Twins playing at home where they have hit the ball well, and since the All-Star break, Lincoln Mercury Keystadt, the Twins almost hitting at a 350 clip.
Yeah, they had a very good series against the Chicago White Sox. You know, last night's ball game, even though the Indians got 20 hits, the Twins were able to get 12.
Ball 1 to Kadire, and Kadire's joined in the fun. His average climbing up into the mid-270s. And that clips the corner, 1-1.
Masterson with now 8 wild pitches. He's also hit 8 guys too, so he's a guy that's kind of all over the place from time to time. That's the slider right there. Then he'll mix in that sinking fastball.
Now this night when the Indians have had problems catching the ball, there's this. Masterson has pitched in 18 ball games and committed 5 errors. Most of them throwing errors, so he's had a tough time defensively as well. 1-2 to Kadair. Fastball inside. Masterson was supposed to start on Sunday, but he had a little bit of an ankle issue, so they pushed him back a couple of days. Backhanded nicely by Santana.
Very nice stop right there by Santana. Well, he went back to the breaking ball, but a little bit too much break right there. Santana backhanding it.
Full count with Tomey on deck. And he walked him, so Kadair goes to first, and Tomey will have a chance with 2 men aboard.
Masterson's really had the same problem that Kevin Slowey has had. Both these starters here tonight have had 18 starts. Masterson has only had 6 quality starts in those 18, and Kevin Slowey only 5. In last night's ball game, Jim Tomey got a fastball from Jensen Lewis, and he hit that ball what they estimated 444 feet. That was a poke. Home run number 11 for Tomey, and is to 575th in his career.
Now Santana in front of the plate to give sign. Tomey's home run, obviously, with the bases empty. This would be a nice spot for another one with 2 men aboard. On the outside corner with a fastball. And Tomey's average climbing. 264. It's the inside corner.
Jim Tomey's always been a very good hitter with a lot of power. A career 277 hitter coming into this year. Almost 8,000 Major League at-bats.
2 strikes to Tomey. Got him. So Tomey strikes out on 3 pitches. He leaves a couple of men aboard. The Twins get 1 and leave 2.
I got Jay and I got Jim, and I got 2 brothers here. They got the Twins Big Dog here, and Jay, I got to ask you, how you liking the Twins Big Dog?
It's pretty good, but you got to get it with mustard. Has to be with mustard, and it tastes so good.
There you go. And Jay, how about you?
I need to go back and get some onions. I asked for it, and I didn't get any. So I got to get some.
Got to get some onions. So make sure you have a hot dog today in honor of National Hot Dog Day. They got some great ones here at Target Field as Jason Kubel runs down a ball and looks like on the borderline of fair or foul, but Americans consume at ballparks, Dick and Bert, how about this? 24 million hot dogs per season at ballparks. Maybe you guys could grab one tonight, okay?
And half of those are in the press box.
I like the mustard idea.
Really? I cannot stand mustard.
That's why I said it. I like the mustard idea.
One down. Here's Matt Laporta. Peralta gone on a foul fly down the right field line, and Laporta will hit.
Hey, Tim Laudner, you're down there in that camera well. You know, we talked in that first inning about Slowey and Mauer having a better relationship and trusting your catcher. That's important, isn't it?
Well, absolutely. You see that Slowey got the first 2 outs real quick, and then the young kid hits one off the wall. I think it flustered him a little bit. Travis Hafner comes up, and the last I checked, Travis Hafner was hitting 250, and if you get ahead of him, he's hitting less than that. But if you get behind him, he becomes a better hitter. And so they took a little bit of time. Joe went out and talked to him, settled him down a little bit. Travis Hafner hits a 3-hopper to the second baseman. He's out of the inning. And so if it was the line drive base hit by the young kid Santana that flustered him a little bit, there certainly, to me, shouldn't be any reason.
No, get used to it. These are major league hitters you're facing. You know, there's good hitters. They're going to hit good pitches. They're going to hit bad pitches. But as a pitcher, what you want to be is just consistent. And that's what the Twins want to see more out of Kevin Slowey. Stay aggressive, get on top of that pitching rubber, and be ready to pitch.
Well, this is Slowey's 4th year in the big leagues. I mean, he's not a rookie anymore.
Well, that's what's think that is confusing. I think to some, here's a ball that got away from Joe Mauer. It's a strike 3.
Good throw.
Out.
A good throw because right down his line of sight was the runner going up the baseline, and Mauer had to deliver a good, strong throw, and he did.
Well, he's got a great arm right here. Laporta swinging at a ball in the dirt. Slowey getting his 3rd strikeout. You can see it's kind of skipped off the plate. Joe Mauer barehanding it, and then a good throw on the infield side over to Kadire. So Slowey picking up his 3rd strikeout. Nice play, defensive play by Mauer.
Shelley Duncan takes outside, ball 1.
A lot of these players started the season in the minor leagues, and a lot of them now getting an opportunity to play. Shelley Duncan with the Yankees for the last 3 years, up and down. He started in the minor leagues, signed a minor league contract. Just got called up on May 19th. Getting some major league at-bats, more on a consistent basis than he got with the Yankees.
There, those last 2 pitches are kind of snapshot of vintage Kevin Slowey.
Both sides of the plate, not just one way. Now, if he goes away, keep it down like he's already picked up 2 of his strikeouts on that pitch just on the other side of the plate. That's where Joe's moving right there. Good pitch.
Boy.
That's what you want. That's vintage Kevin Slowey.
In November. Wow, what a beautiful
poor little
animal.
Bambi.
You're looking at the lake of the Woods and Rainy River area near Baudette in northwestern Minnesota. 317,000 acres of Minnesota water in the Lake of the Woods, including the Northwest Angle and the Islands.
You got to be kidding me. Poor little deer just out, just walking around. Won't go any further.
Delman Young grounds it foul, and it's 1-1. Delman Young is climbing up the RBI chart and also climbing into the batting race. He's 4 points behind Ichiro for 10th in the American League batting race, so he's not in the top 10, but he's one good night away from getting there.
Yeah, since May 21st is when Delman Young really started to take off, and since that time he's hitting .351. Good breaking ball down and away from Masterson.
It'll be Young, Hardy, and Punto, bottom third of the Twins lineup, facing Justin Masterson. Oh my, breaking ball that is called a strike. Strike three for Delman Young, one away.
Well, both starters getting some strikeouts. Kevin Slowey with 4 in the ball game. Masterson, kind of a backdoor slider on the inner half of the plate. And Doug Eddings, pitcher's best friend right now, he's calling a big strike zone. Be swinging the bat, boys.
He said, I stood at first base for 4 hours last night. I'm not going to be behind the plate for 4 hours tonight. Up to Hardy, ball one. And Hardy's batting average climbing out of the depths.
Yeah, since he's come off the disabled list over his last 13 ball games, hitting .359. 14 hits in his last 39 at-bats.
Up and in. And it's 3-0. Now the Twins are playing the Indians here. The Tigers are hosting the Rangers, and the Rangers won an extra inning game last night and are leading 4-0 in the 6th inning of Game 2. 3-1. Later tonight, first place White Sox will send John Danks to the mound against the Seattle Mariners. Tap foul, 3-2. To me, just someone you can watch right behind home plate here. Looks like Masterson is kind of open in his delivery, and you can see his arm and the ball throughout his entire delivery. Here's a high fly to center, and retreating is Trevor Crowe.
Well, he's a big kid, 6'6", about 250. So, he's got that type of delivery. He's almost like a slinger, isn't he, Tim Laudner? I know you're down there.
Yeah, Bert, you took the words right out of my mouth. This guy's a slinger, a gunslinger. He hides the ball a little bit. And, Dick, you and I were talking earlier about how Jeff Reardon used to hide the ball, which made him so effective. They're a little bit different. This big, tall kid comes from a little bit lower than Reardon came from, but there's no doubt he's a slinger.
And Punto gets a bunt single. So Punto on the first pitch may have bunted it down on top of home plate, but then it spun forward towards third, a beautiful bunt single.
We talked about last night, Tim Laudner, about Crowe bunting with 2 outs, and here Nick Punto, I know this is part of his game. He's trying to get on right here, but Punto, when you bunt with 2 outs, you better be able to try to steal a base, right?
Well, you'd like to think that you can. And Nick, you know what? Nick Punto can steal a base. But
right.
I hate to see guys bunt with 2 outs, but I hate it worse when there's guys on base and they're bunting with 2 outs.
Span down the line foul. Span with runners at second and third and 2 out. Tried to bunt for a hit in the middle of the game last night. That was probably a pretty misplaced bunt attempt, too.
Right.
One strike to Span, who started the game with a double. Later came around to score the only run of the game so far.
Punto does have 5 stolen bases in 6 attempts. Masterson holding it, and then Span calling time.
Might get a chance to get our first look at Santana's arm behind the plate.
Well, he's done a good job so far. He's thrown out 7 of 22 potential base stealers, about 32%.
You mentioned Masterson has committed 5 errors. Some have been throws to first to an apparently immobile Russell Brandon when he was with the Indians. But that's a high number of errors for a pitcher to have, which is 18 starts and a little over 100 innings. Outside. 1-1. He's trying to put something together here with 2 gone in the second, leading 1-0. Strike call, 1-2.
Yeah, not a lot of history again between the Twins and Justin Masterson. He has made 4 starts against the Twins. He's 0-3 with a 5.01 ERA in 4 starts, 5 games. And that relief appearance came when he was with the Boston Red Sox.
1-2 to Span. And a wild pitch will send Punto to second.
The second wild pitch of the ball game for Masterson.
The ball might have rolled off the field of play. Second base umpire Kerwin Danley motioned to Punto. He had to stop at second base.
Tim Laudner, you know what? You got a guy out there that now this is his 9 wild pitches. He's hit 8 batters. Kind of guy that's all over the place. Guy that a hitter may not feel comfortable at the plate against.
But you know what, Bert? It's still all about getting a good pitch and trying to drive it somewhere. If he doesn't want to throw it over the plate, you drop the bat and let the next guy come up.
2 Hopper to first. Laporta has an easy play. And Punto's left at second. On to the third. The Twins up 1-0. On Fox Sports North is brought to you by Grand Casino. The best stories start here. By Lincoln Mercury. Visit your local Lincoln Mercury dealer or go to experiencelm.com. And by AT&T. Find out what's possible with the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. AT&T. Rethink possible. Now Kevin Slowey with a 1-0 lead, pitching to Trevor Crow. Twins had a tough time getting him out last night. See how Slowey fares here in the leadoff spot of the third inning. Popped up, it's a foul ball. And Delman Young comes up a little bit short.
Oh, no, he caught it.
He did off the carry.
Yeah, Crow in last night's ball game, a career-high 4-hit ball game.
So Slowey gets ahead of Crow 0-2. Then it'll be Jason Donald and then Asdrubal Cabrera.
Happy 90th birthday to Ken Thompson in Worthington.
Got him. And Slowey, you're paying attention here. It looks like Doug Eddings is offering a wide strike zone, and Slowey is exploiting that.
Hey, he's hitting his spot so far. Let's go back to Shelley Duncan, the last out of last inning, and Slowey fell behind 0-1, just down. Then he comes right back, good low fastball. Then the pitch inside for a strike, and then paints the corner away. Again, vintage Kevin Slowey.
One gone. Here's Jason Donald. What was particularly upsetting to Slowey and to Twins fans in Slowey's last start, he had a really rough beginning to his game with the White Sox. 2 in the first, 2 in the second. And then the Twins scored 6 in the bottom of the second inning and gave him a reprieve, only to see Slowey give it all back again an inning or two later.
You know what? That's then and this is now. And right now, Kevin Slowey's on a good groove. He's working quick. Good slow curveball right there for strike 2. Now Joe Mauer moving down and away and missing away. So Slowey right now, I really see him working out front. So many times I see him working with palm going to home plate rather than the fingers on top of that ball. And right now, those fingers are on top of the ball. He's keeping the ball down very nicely.
Fly ball center field, looks harmless enough. 2 down.
So first time through the lineup, he gave up 1 hit. That's to Carlos Santana. He has 5 strikeouts. So the delivery for Slowey is also getting strike 1 on 6 of the 9. You see right out front, right there, you see the whip in his arm, and that's how you stay on top of that baseball.
Here's Cabrera, struck out to start the ball game. Up and away, ball 1. Slowey with 8 wins on the season, 2 of them earlier this year against the Indians. Tapper right side.
Good changeup right there.
Easy play for Cuddyer and a 9-pitch 1-2-3 third. Kevin Slowey with a 1-2-3 third inning, picking up some votes. Orlando Hudson leading off the bottom of the third. One and one.
Hudson getting a base hit. The official score said it was a base hit. It was off Donald's glove at second base, but Hudson will take that. That continues a hitting streak for Orlando Hudson, now a 9-game hitting streak.
Two and one, Hudson. Now 3-1. Masterson is already a walked 1. That was Cuddyer in the first inning. On a couple of wild pitches. Masterson took over a spot in the Cleveland rotation when the Indians, a little less than a year ago, traded Carl Pavano to the Twins. It was Masterson that took Pavano's spot in their rotation. Bouncer left side, and a two-hopper fielded by Peralta. Hudson retired, one away. You can ask a question of us online at carsoup.com/baseball. Jeff Masters from Crystal, Minnesota, wondering whether Carlos Santana has a shot at the American League Rookie of the Year.
Well, I don't know. He's got very good numbers. Again, he just got called up not too long ago on June 11th. But that guy from Detroit,
which one?
Brandon Bosch. I like what he's done so far for the Tigers. Also, Austin Jackson having a very good year for the Tigers.
Remember, Neftali Feliz technically is still a rookie, and he's closing games for a first-place ball club.
Right. Pretty good numbers right there for first-year players.
My guess is Bosch would have to have something really awful happen to him or for him to not win the award. But Santana certainly looks like a player worth keeping and keeping an eye on. 2 strikes to Bauer. He drove in the Twins' run with a ground ball to Laporta. The last time the Twins had a Rookie of the Year winner was Marty Cordova in the mid-90s. And in that season, it was a very close balloting. Garrett Anderson was just a couple of votes short. And the reason more people didn't vote for Anderson, he wasn't called up until late May.
Right.
And the assumption was that if strikeout of Mauer, that if Anderson had been called up and played the full season as Cordova had, that it would have been Cordova, or rather Anderson, winning the award.
Yeah, there's a nasty pitch right here. Watch this breaking ball. I mean, look at the break on that. Great pitch right there. Santana getting it, jumping out of the way. And Masterson picks up strikeout number 4 in the ball game.
2 down, and now here's Jason Kubel. He went down on strikes his first time up. Within Masterson's uneven season, there have been a couple of really bright spots, including a 2-hit shutout against the Red Sox. Nice stop at short by Cabrera from his knees. He throws him out. So Kubel hits the ball hard, and the Indians, who couldn't catch anything in the first inning, have done a nice job since. Shoot with a first inning run.
Both pitchers have pitched very good in the first 3 innings. Slowly a little bit better than Masterson, but only 1 hit allowed, 5 strikeouts in 40 pitches. So good start for Slowey. Keep it right there. Keep that ball down in the strike zone.
First man he'll face here in the 4th, Jason Nix. Dick Bramer, Burt Lytherton, joined by Steve Bird, who has authored a book on what might be the most picturesque ballpark in Major League Baseball, and that's why it's such a thick book, because you've got such great pictures in there about Target Field.
Got those great photographs. A lot of work gone into it, but just great talent behind the camera.
There's a drive to right field, a high fly that sends Kubel back near the track. Makes the catch. Now it's just been put out this week, right, for sale here at the ballpark.
Right, exactly.
And here's what it looks like, and it's a great coffee table.
Open it up. Show some
and that's
pictures.
exactly where it is in our house. We have it on our coffee table.
I think it's something that people ought to put on their coffee table, maybe especially in the wintertime, because, you know, you can bring Target Field into your home in the wintertime and remember what a night like this looks like.
One down, Carlos Santana, the hitter. Well, talk a little bit about some of the editorial content in the book and some of the things fans might not know about this ballpark that you've researched and put in the book.
Well, the book is designed to be a kind of behind-the-scenes story of the building of Target Field, the design of it, even the political history, the somewhat tortured political history of it, that the Twins, to their credit, wanted to get that story out there. So that's fine. But it was an incredible thing to put a hard hat and a vest on every day, come and see this ballpark develop, come and kind of get to know the construction workers.
Driven to right field, and Kubel over to make the catch for Santana's drive, 2 quick outs. You know, and I haven't had a chance to read the whole book because I've only had it for a couple of days. We'll give you some information on how you can get your copy. But one part I've enjoyed was the challenge of the architecture and the construction to do, as the Twins have said, put a 14-acre ballpark on an 8-acre site.
Exactly, and you guys remember what this parking lot looked like and how cramped it is. There was a railroad. Well, there is a railroad running underneath the third base stands. There's a freeway running underneath the team store out there and the Met Club. So it's really, really a big challenge. The hardest job that Populous, formerly HOK, and Mortensen had ever had.
Oh, you have Afterword by Joe Mauer. That's very nice. How long did it take you to put this together, Steve?
About a year and a half. Dave St. Peter and I started talking about a year and a half ago, and once it got started, we went pretty well.
Good.
But it tries to tell the behind-the-scenes story all the way from the design to the construction, and then to kind of give fans a feeling of what it's like to come out here.
Now, the price of the book is $40. I know you were autographing and selling copies here today, but for fans who come to Target Field, they can get it here at the ballpark, correct?
They can.
And
I understand if you sign it, Steve, it's $30?
Take $10 off the price.
I don't know that that's part of the deal.
1 and 2 to Travis Hafner with 2 gone here in the 4th inside. But for fans, let's say Fargo, Sioux Falls, how do they get a hold of the book?
Twinsbaseball.com. They can order it on there.
Okay. Well, it really is a wonderful book, and we've talked about how picturesque this ballpark is, and of course, I love looking at the pictures, and that's the main reason Bert has books, I think, is to look at the pictures, right?
Absolutely.
3 and 2 to Hafner.
Well, Slowey has been hitting his spots. This is fun to watch. I got Hafner to roll over a fastball on a 3-1 pitch to end the first inning. Now this is a 3-2 pitch. And right back up the middle.
Bleed up the middle, right over the mound and into center field. Hafner's aboard. The book is called Target Field, the new home of the Minnesota Twins, and some of the pictures going through the construction process, the groundbreaking excavation, and then of course the finished product takes a back seat to no ballpark in America, in my opinion.
Well, all the man hours, it's unbelievable. Everybody that was involved in building this beautiful Target Field.
I think it's the most significant new ballpark since Camden Yards in 1992. The way it fits into the community, the design that really evokes Minnesota.
Strike 1 to Peralta. It hit a foul fly on the right field line, grabbed by Kubel his first time up.
Well, the thing is, too, Steve, this is not only the ballpark, it's the surrounding area is just getting better and better. They did that in Denver with Coors Field. You know, it's kind of in an area that, you know, that's just built up now. It's a beautiful place to visit, and people come from, you know, all the 5-state area just to not only see this ballpark, but eat at all the great restaurants now.
The Twins said over and over again as they were building this that it's not just a ballpark, it's part of the community. You can look out at the community, you can interact with the community, you can get on a light rail train. It all comes together here, and it's a ball game plus.
Remember the banner at the old Met that always said, "If you build it, we will come."
Exactly.
Well, they've averaged almost 40,000 people here at night.
I think it's a celebration. Minnesotans, we're kind of reserved as a whole, I think, but we like to get together at the State Fair, and I think this is kind of like the State Fair. People love to get together with one another, be elbow to elbow with one another. And this has just been a great summer.
They've even got menu items here from the State Fair.
Exactly.
Well, I think we've used the word event over a ball game right now. This is the event. People want tickets to come and see this beautiful place and also see a very good baseball team.
Exactly.
Well, Steve, I know your heritage is as an upper Midwesterner from this region. Spent a lot of time working for the Star Tribune, and so you know about the struggles getting into this place, and even the struggle in leaving Metropolitan Stadium and getting the Metrodome built. That was kind of a struggle in and of itself.
It was, and I think this was really an identity crisis for the state. This political struggle to build this ballpark lasted for 13 years. And a lot of people, some people will still, won't ever fully accept the public financing and all that sort of thing. But we really were in the midst of a struggle to decide what kind of a city, what kind of a state we wanted to be. And I think a lot of us are really, really happy that we decided to compete and decided to stay in the major leagues and decided to move forward with this project.
Well, Johnny Peralta giving Kevin Slowey a pretty good workout right here. Slowey wants something to happen on this 2-2 pitch. After at first base, after hitting a ground ball underneath the glove of Kevin Slowey in the center field.
2 gone, 2-2 to Peralta. Got it. Great pitch to end the inning. Steve Burt, thanks for stopping by. Good luck with the book, and I encourage any Twins fan to pick up a copy of the book.
Thanks.
Tied a major league record, making 22 putouts in a 7-1 Yankees win against the Twins. The feat was last accomplished in the American League prior to this by Hal Chase back in 1906. 22 putouts out of a possible 27 outs.
I wonder who pitched that day for the Yankees.
My guess is it would be Thomas John. He got a lot of ground ball outs, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Little scuff ball, good sinker.
1-1 to Michael Kadire. High chopper.
That's trouble.
And Kadire's aboard with an infield hit. So the leadoff man is on here in the Twins 4th. And let's see what our trivia challenge is for this evening. Brought to you by AT&T. Who has the most career hits versus the Twins while in a Cleveland uniform? Wouldn't be a current Twin, would it? I think Kenny Lofton probably had more hits.
It's like maybe Omar Vizquel is just left here.
It's not this guy. It's not Tomey, is it? He got a lot of home runs, but not as many hits. Tomey struck out with a couple of men aboard in first.
It was Tommy John that pitched that game. And Mattingly got the 22 putouts.
1-1. So Les Straker took the loss in that ball game. Something about Masterson is giving Tomey some trouble here. A lot of swings and misses.
Well, you know what Tim Laudner was talking about too, and I mentioned the word kind of a slinger, and then that arm, his body's almost coming at you, and then all of a sudden here comes that long arm. So it might be tough to pick up.
Down low, 2-2. Twins trying to do something with the leadoff single here in the 4th.
He's got a good fastball. He'll get that fastball in the low 90s, 90 to 95 miles an hour with some sink on it. Doesn't throw too many four-seam fastballs. Pretty much two-seamer. And that hard breaking ball.
And he got Tomey with it, 1 away.
Strikeout number 5 for Masterson.
That'll bring up Delman Young, who was called out on strikes his first time.
See the arm right there. It just comes right through. I like his follow through.
Young caught looking on a breaking pitch near the inside corner, and first pitch flipped foul. Well, Masterson had to wait a long time. He went 17 straight starts without a win. And the Indians, of course, want a little something to show for the Martinez trade, and Masterson a big part of that. He's a tapper up the line foul.
Right, they feel that if he can control that sinker a little bit better than he has, and then mix in that slider, he's got a chance to win 10 or 12 ball games, maybe a year, maybe 15. He didn't get a lot of run support either during those 17 starts that he was 0-11.
Hit hard to center. Trevor Crow going back, and he makes a running catch, and Kadire's got to retouch and try to get back to first. The throw, safe. Kadire is able to get his foot on the bag before Laporta was able to get a glove or any part of his body on first base.
Oh, what a great running catch by Crow out in center field. Kadire took a chance that, he's not going to catch this ball. But Crow just kind of outran the baseball. He gave it a ride right here. Crow goes back, and Kadire at second base saying, it's over his head. But Crow leaping, making a nice catch, and then getting that ball back in quickly as he kind of plays off that wall out at that 411 mark. And Asdrubal Cabrera threw that ball a little bit up the line, and that allowed Kadire to get that foot back on the bag.
Split second before Laporta would have gotten his foot on the bag, and that's or his glove on the bag. He didn't need to tag Kadire. All he needed to do was stay or establish some sort of contact with the base. Tap foul by Hardy. And 2 strikes. Last night we saw Michael Brantley make a nice running catch in the right center field gap, and Mike Crow had an even tougher play that he made. 2 strikes to J.J. Hardy.
You know, the Indians have a color analyst, Rick Manning, who was my center fielder when I was there in the 80s, and he could still get him, too. There's Archie, Rick Manning. Some very good years with the Indians and the Brewers.
Nice catch by Masterson.
They needed those long arms on that play.
The Twins go down after the leadoff single in the fourth. My favorite people, Wayne Terwilliger here tonight.
Twigs.
And how does he do that? He hasn't changed since he first signed on board with the Twins in the mid-'80s. Swing and a miss by Matt Laporta, one strike. Wayne Terwilliger was a first base coach for the Twins for both World Championship teams.
That man loves baseball. Great player and great coach.
1-1 to Matt Laporta, then Jelly Duncan and Trevor Crowe. All three of them struck out against Slowey in the second and third innings. Nubbed foul.
Well, Laporta getting a chance to play again. Russell Branyan now with the Seattle Mariners, so that kind of opens up the door for Laporta to be the everyday first baseman. And since June 27th, came into this ballgame hitting .328, 20 hits and 61 at bats. And Laporta coming over from the Brewer organization in the CC Sabathia trade.
You know, the Indians a couple of times have had to do it. The Twins have over the years, maybe not in back-to-back seasons, kind of take your best players, turn them into commodities, and try to get younger and less expensive players in return. But when you trade the likes of Sabathia and Lee and Blake, well, they've got to work. Some of the players you get back in return have got to click. There's a drive past Hudson and into right field. It'll be a leadoff hit for Laporta here in the fifth.
Yeah, Slowey hasn't made many mistakes here so far tonight. That ball left up a little bit, and Laporta, again, he's been swinging a pretty good bat, just takes that ball the other way. So you see where that pitch is left up about belt high, and good hitting by Laporta, taking it into right field. Third hit for the Indians off of Kevin Slowey. Yeah, Indians are at the point right now, I mean, they need to see what they have as far as their organization. They got to let Laporta play. They've got to let Crowe play. They hope that Shelly Duncan, who's up at the plate right now, he was in the Yankee organization. He's got a lot of potential, but now he's going to get some at bats and see what he can do at the major league level.
So you're rebuilding anyway, and then you move along through the season, and your 1, 2, and 3 hitters are all on the disabled list. As Drupal Cabrera, Grady Sizemore, Shin-Soo Choo. So there's some ugly moments along the way, but out of the break, the Indians doing quite well, thank you.
Well, Choo, they're hoping that he'll come back Friday and be back in that lineup. He's probably, other than Grady Sizemore, who's out for the rest of the season after knee surgery, their best player.
Slowly will stop and tie his shoe, 1-1. And Manny Acta said, you know what? No one's going to feel sorry for us. We've got to fight our way through it. And they've done that. And they did the Twins a huge favor by sweeping the Tigers in a 4-game series right out of the break. Now they're trying to stifle the Twins after the Twins took 3 out of 4 from Chicago. 1-1 to Duncan to throw to first.
Sometimes what you get, and Manny Acta did it with the Washington Nationals, you get guys that are trying to make a name for themselves and say, I deserve to be here. So that enthusiasm, even though the Indians, are 12 and a half games behind the White Sox, they come to the ballpark. These young kids want to play.
And that's lifted foul, out of play, 1 and 2.
So you take that enthusiasm and hope you have some success along the way to build that winning franchise that the Indians had at one time. But they have been playing good baseball. Again, last 20 ball games, they've won 13 of the last 20. And then 5 in a row right after this break. That's never been done before by the Cleveland Indians, going 5-0 after the All-Star break.
1-2 to Duncan. So he's been getting most of his outs on fly balls. Love to get a ground ball hit at somebody. Check swing and a foul.
Yeah, he's starting to get up a little bit. This is where Joe Mauer really needs to get him back down in that strike zone. This is where a catcher should take a lot of pride in handling a pitching staff. See where Joe wants it right here.
1-2. High pop-up near the Cleveland dugout. Punto has room. 1 away. You have an opinion about who the Twins should add to their pitching rotation, or do you think things are just fine as they are? We want to hear from you. Log on to foxsportsnorth.com and click on the Twins tab and take our Twins poll. That's a tape shot. That's not Ron Gardner coming out to take Kevin Slowey out of the game.
Yeah, I was just looking at that pitch right there of Duncan. Very good pitch inside. And Tim Laudner, what you've noticed is he's slowed down a little bit out there.
Trevor Crowe, the hitter. Well, Slowey's strikeout pitch has been that breaking ball away, and you're forever talking about pitching outside using both sides of the plate. And so, that's the counterpoint to a slider down and away, something hard inside.
Well, and that fastball away, too. I mean, he's working both sides of the plate. It seems right now, Timmy, and Tim Laudner down there where Joe sits. Now, that ball was missed outside. Now, what a lot of times, Timmy, and you caught me, I want to go back in again with another fastball. When I miss that bad, I want to go back in again to prove to myself I can get it in there.
And it just seems to me that once Kevin Slowey hit the 5th inning, and we know what that means, Bert, it's decision time, and he wants to go out and make sure he gets a decision. But it's like he all of a sudden hit a wall. He had such great rhythm the first 4 innings, and now all of a sudden he's slowed right down. He's taken much more time between pitches than he did in the first 4 innings.
Is that because of the leadoff hit?
It might be. Sometimes you take a little more time in the stretch position than in the windup, but keep the flow going, and that's what Joe Mauer's going to try to do with right here. He's behind an account. See if he just tries to throw that 2-seamer or something down and away. Make this guy swing the bat, throw. There you go.
Dribbler right side, and Cuddyer flips to Slowey, who found the bag just in time. Crowe retired. Laporta to second base.
Yeah, that's a very hard play right there, because as a pitcher, you go over there, and if you can't get it, you have to follow, go to the bag. Watch Cuddyer come off right here. He may be calling him off, and then it's Slowey's responsibility. Get over there, and then watch Slowey right here. The ball kind of a swinging bunt, gets over there, and keep going. Oh, at its finest right there. A little PFP, pitcher's fielding practice.
Two down. Here's Jason Donald.
Do that every day in spring training, because you know why? They come up once in a while in the ball game. If Slowey doesn't get over there, all of a sudden there's runners at first and second, maybe a big inning. So good communication right there between Kadire and Slowey.
Donald with a fly to center his first time up. Away, ball one.
Okay, starting to get up again, so get that ball down in the strike zone.
Slowly trying to wrap up the fifth inning. There has not been a trip to the mound by the pitching coach, and only one, maybe two, I think, from the catcher.
Good fastball right there at 90 miles an hour. Again, like Tim Laudner said earlier, Slowey's not a guy that's going to blow you away, so you have to hit your spots. Right here on the inner half of the plate, but had something on it. Donald swinging through it.
One and one to Jason Donald. Popped up, foul, and out of play. 1-2.
With a good fastball middle limb. This will be Kevin Slowey's 75th pitch in the ball game. So far, 51 of the 74 have been strikes. No walks, 6 strikeouts. He's allowed only 3 hits.
One and two to the number 9 hitter. Laced to left field, and it's going to tie the game. It's by Young and all the way to the wall. And Donald has made it a 1-1 ball game with a double.
It looked like a fastball down, and sometimes you have to credit that hitter for hitting a pretty good pitch. Donald getting a double, driving in his 18th run on his 15th double. So you're wanting it in and ball a little bit too much of the plate, but down in the strike zone. Donald just went down and hit that ball sharply.
Tie game. The Twins haven't done much against Justin Masterson since the very first inning. Back to the top of the order as Drupal Cabrera.
Yeah, now get out of this inning.
And a strike call. Cabrera, first game back after an extended time on the disabled list, has struck out and hit a 2-hopper to Michael Kadire. Texas leading Detroit 4-0. Bottom of the 8th at Comerica Park. Fly ball right field. Kubel drifting back to end the inning. So a leadoff hit and a 2-out hit conspire to tie the game.
in Minnesota State Lottery tickets. And how about this story, Dick and Bert? Gwen and Alan here. Gwen moved out to Oregon. They reconnected after 70 years. 70 years ago, they were high school sweethearts in Langdon, North Dakota. And here they are enjoying Target Field for the very first time. Gwen, how much fun is this being here with your old high school sweetheart?
Awesome.
Santana and Travis Hafner.
Yeah, both starters doing a good job. Both starters so far 5 innings. Kevin Slowey was 77 pitches, and Masterson was 76 pitches.
Each team with 3 singles and a double. And a first pitch strike to Jason Nix. Nix with a strikeout in the first, and then a fly ball to right in the 4th. It's 1-1.
Nix claimed off waivers from the Chicago White Sox on June 25th. Originally came to the big leagues with the Rockies. It's been a year and a half with the White Sox, up and down between that and the minor leagues, getting an opportunity to get some at-bats here. He's hit 6 home runs in the month of July. So showing off a little power. Seven home runs overall.
Check swing, and they'll appeal. No, says first base umpire Dana DeMute.
It's almost the same check swing that Slowey struck him out on in the first inning. The ball was down in the dirt in that first inning, and it's holding up.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And now a full count to the leadoff man here in the 6th.
Well, no walks for Kevin Slowey with his 6 strikeouts. Bird's eye view up there.
These were not kestrels, I don't believe. They look like pigeons to me. Hit a long way foul. So we think those are falcons? Okay. To Nix, who will be followed by Santana and Hafner here in the 6th inning. Popped up near the plate. Mauer staggered at the end. Kind of lost it. McLeod makes the catch, 1 away.
Well, he got underneath the ball. Coming down pretty hard, and Joe Mauer makes the catch in foul territory.
Get behind the scenes view of Target Field as public and private tours of the great new ballpark are now available. To find out ballpark tour dates and times, or if you'd like to reserve a private tour for a larger group, just call twinsbaseball.com or call 800-33-TWINS. Here is Santana. To right, base hit. Santana has hit the ball hard 3 times tonight against Kevin Slowey. He hit a line drive off the limestone facing of the overhang in the first, lined out to Kubel in the 4th, and now another line drive for a hit in the 6th.
Yeah, he fought off that pitch right there. I was watching Slowey's reaction. He got kind of upset a little bit at himself because he just left the pitch up, but Santana fought it off and got his 2nd hit.
And now Travis Hafner, ground ball to 2nd, and a ground ball base hit in the 4th.
We'll take that ground ball right here. Well, he's been able to get 6 double plays turned behind him, this being his 19th start. Hafner, you can see that uppercut swing that he has. Slowly more of a fly ball pitcher. See the defense for the Twins. Kevin Slowey making his 73rd Major League start. He has 34 wins, 20 losses. Looking for his 9th win of the year here tonight.
One strike to Hafner. Drifts outside, 1-1.
A change up right there at 82. The Indians are going to the youth movement, but they have Travis Hafner, who's on a long-term contract. He's got 2 more years left on that contract that he signed. A 4-year contract for about $57 million.
And to his credit, he's had injury-plagued seasons the last couple of years, but he came to camp in really good shape. And I think you can see that even when he runs. He's not known as a speed guy, but he looks like he's in real good shape and able to run, which is something he hadn't been able to do. His shoulder has been particularly bothersome, and his back, but he's doing what he can to let the Indians get some money. Their money's worth out of the contract.
And he's the type of guy that, when you have a lot of young kids on the ball club, you need somebody like a veteran. You need somebody there. Johnny Peralta is another guy that's been there for 8 years. Travis Hafner, this is his 8th season.
2-2 to Hafner. Hold foul. Time for the Quest high-speed pitch, brought to you by Quest high-speed internet.
Well, Masterson at 94 miles an hour, Slowey at 90.
90 pitches for Slowey on the night.
Remember back in 2003, remember Hafner had that cycle against the Twins.
Here in Minnesota.
On August 13th, 2003. Hit for the cycle. Good pitch.
With the changeup.
84-mile-an-hour pitch. Good location down and away, and Hafner a little out front trying to chase it. So Kevin Slowey picks up strikeout number 7 in the ball game. They're doing a very good job tonight keeping the ball down in the strike zone.
2 down, and here's Johnny Peralta. Texas has added 3 more runs in the top of the ninth. They lead Detroit 7-0. Tigers in danger of losing their 7th straight. Last game before the break against the Twins, and the first 6 out of the break. Down and away, ball 1. The Tigers have to go for a while now without Brandon Inge, who broke his hand. They put him on the disabled list.
Yeah, he's supposed to be gone for 4 to 6 weeks. Got hit by a pitch.
1-0 to Peralta. 2-0.
This is a guy right here that can hit the ball out of the ballpark, so you don't want to make a mistake middle in. You want to try to get him to reach out and hit that ball, hopefully to Bernard Span out in center. Anderson on the phone. Kevin Slowey, this will be his 94th pitch in the ball game. Tim Laudner said he's kind of slowing down the tempo a little bit.
Dump to right field and a base hit. Santana's going to slam on the brakes. They throw behind him. And he's safe at second base. So a 2-out hit. The Indians are putting together a threat with Matt Laporta coming to the plate.
Yeah, ball right off the end of the bat, and Peralta just kind of hit it that way. So he picks up his first hit of the ball game. You want to be aggressive on the base paths, but Santana rounding the bag and then sliding back in safely.
Anderson coming to the mound. Quick trip to the mound, and significantly Anderson making his first trip to the mound in the 6th inning. So many starts over the last month and a half where a Twin starter has gotten a first or second inning visit.
Well, in today's game, again, the pitch count's going to come into play. 94 pitches. Anderson's saying, hey, let's just give it everything you've got right here. Jesse Crane's starting to loosen up in the bullpen.
Interesting as we move along here, and Ron Gardenhire hinting after the game last night, and again this afternoon, that John Roush is not going to be available tonight. Roush took a line drive off his ankle. And Ron Gardenhire saying, when asked, who's your closer tonight, saying it wouldn't be John Roush. We'll have to wait and see how it goes. And one of the pitchers we thought might be considered would be Crane, but now he's warming up in the 6th.
You can see he said he tried to get that leg out of the way, but it ended up getting that back leg.
Here's Laporta, and he takes an off-speed pitch for strike 1. Anthony Slamma was not here as of 5 o'clock, but we were told he would be here in time for the game. And who knows, Slamma just called up, might make his major league debut in a save situation if it comes to that. Nice backhanded pickup by Mauer, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, Alex Burnett getting sent down. Ron Gardenhire saying the young man, just 22 years old. They're very, very, excited about Alex Burnett's future in the Twins organization. He just needs to go down and throw a little bit. Anthony Slamma getting called up. There he is. Carl Cavano stash.
Inside, down 2-1.
Slowly making his 19th start. Only 5 times he's thrown over 100 pitches in a ball game, so he's right at 97. So I'm sure Rick Anderson saying, hey, give it all you've got right here. This might be the last hitter he faces right here.
2-1 to Laporta with Shelley Duncan on deck.
Laporta in his last at bat got a pitch up, a slider up, and then hit it to right field. Orlando Hudson keeping Santana close to second, so there's that big hole between first and second.
Yeah, swing, and now it's 3-1. So Slowey, in terms of batters faced, had 4 in the first, 3 in the second, 3 in the third, 4 in the fourth, and 5 in the fifth. And Laporta is batter number 5 here in the 6th.
You still have a base open right here. Game's on the line. You don't want to just throw a fastball and let him hit the ball. Let's make a good pitch right here.
And he walked him to fill the bases. And for Slowey, the first walk of the ball game.
Yeah, Ron Gardenhire, I think he's seen that Slowey's kind of run out of gas right here. So he's going to bring in a fresh arm, and that being Jesse Crane.
Jesse Crane will try to leave the bases full with 2 gone here in the 6th. Hoping Favre will return in 2010. Go to foxsportsnorth.com. Find the article on the front page.
Well, not a save situation for Jesse Crane like he did in his last appearance, coming in and saving a ball game. Well, Jesse Crane has been pitching outstanding out of that bullpen. Great numbers for Crane. At ERA at one time was about 7 or 8, is now down to 3.65. Over his last 22 appearances, Jesse Crane has allowed only 2 earned runs, an ERA of 0.86. Not the situation any reliever would like to come into. Bases loaded and 2 outs.
Yeah.
See if we can get Shelly Duncan right here for the final out of the inning.
Well, he had to get 2 outs to pick up the save in a really messy situation against the White Sox on Friday night. Here an earlier appearance, but a critical one in a 1-1 game. Bases loaded, 2 down, and Shelly Duncan, who struck out and fouled out against Slowey, will now face a fresh pitcher.
We've seen Jesse Crane use that little cutter a lot. Like that. Just misses down and away.
And Duncan lays off with a check swing, 1-0.
I like that right there. Shows where the runners are. Who's up, who's on deck.
One 1-0 to Duncan. A fair ball down the line. And 2 runs are going to score. So Duncan hooks one just fair at the feet of C.B. Buckner, and the Indians take their first lead.
Yeah, Buckner had to get out of the way of this ball that was hit sharply right down that line. Duncan way out front pulling the ball. The ball looked like it hit right on the chalk line. So Duncan picking up a big 2-run single. His first hit of the ball game. And the Indians take a 3-1 lead. Both runners scored are responsibility of Kevin Slowey.
So the Indians with 1 in the 5th and 2 so far here in the 6th. Trevor Crowe will hit with runners at 1st and 3rd. Texas shut out the Tigers 8-0 at Comerica Park. But here now the Indians are in position, playing with the lead for the first time tonight. And a bunt. Crane barehands it, makes a fine play to end the inning. Trevor Crowe, who bunted last night with the bases empty at 2 out, tries it again here in the 6th.
Nine starts. So Kevin Slowey, he has given up 3 runs. 7 strikeouts for Kevin Slowey. Only 1 walk.
And the Frostbrew Coors Light freeze can. Twins down a couple of runs. Now the 3, 4, and 5 hitters will Get another look at Justin Masterson, who's pitched pretty well again here tonight. Bauer takes low, ball one. Joe drove in the lone Twins run with a ground ball in the first, and then Masterson struck him out on a slider in the third. Another off-speed pitch, a breaking pitch over for a strike. And Joe came out of the All-Star break hitting the ball well. Now just one hit in his last 10 at bats, and the average down to 295. 2-1. Masterson has only walked one. That was Kadire back in the first inning. 3-1.
Yeah, he's a guy that's come into the ball game averaging about 4 walks per 9 innings. Does have 6 strikeouts in a ball game with that 1 walk.
And a full count. I thought it might have been ball 4.
Fastball, middle in.
Fox says it was strike 2. It's dumped behind third, and if it's fair, it's going to be a hit. Bauer will round first and go to second. A little pop fly. And left fielders, in this case Nix, playing Bauer deep and toward the gap. They've taken a lot of hits away from him out there, and so he dropped one in front of the left fielder.
Well, the inside out swing again of Joe Mauer, kind of fighting off this ball. And the ball just right down that left field line, a fair ball. So Joe Mauer with his 28th double gets in the scoring position here.
And now Kubel struck out in the first, hit a hard smash up the middle, and Cabrera turned in a nice play to throw him out at first. First time the Twins have had a leadoff double since the first inning when Span doubled and scored. Out in front, the swing and a foul, 1-1. Left-handed batters have swung through that pitch.
Right, that's the pitch. You know, that's a nasty pitch. I used to use my curveball the same way. Down and in. Left-handers see it. They think it's about knee-high, and then it just gets a little bit lower. Tough pitch against left-handers. Who would like to try to advance Mauer here?
Takes a call, third strike.
They're definitely maybe looking in again, and Masterson just sneaking that fastball by him. Masterson picks up strikeout number 7 in the ball game. Fastball away.
Kadire drew the only walk issued by Masterson in the first inning, and then he chopped one off the plate and got an infield hit leading off the 4th. Breaking ball, strike 1. To the mound, Bauer stays put, out number 2. We'll leave it to Tomey, who has struck out twice against Masterson. Next time you're at a Twins merchandise outlet, like the Pro Shops or Majestic Athletic Clubhouse at Target Field, you can get this cool print of Target Field created by artist Michael Brower called Home of the Twins. Purchase the artwork too at twinsbaseball.com. Beautiful setting for a beautiful ballpark, and the Twins try to turn this game around after giving up the lead. Now the Indians leading for the first time. Tomey has struck out twice against Masterson. Strike 1. Twins got a pop fly double to start the 6th, but Bauer still anchored at second base. There's one foul, 2 strikes. One and 2.
Masterson making his 44th Major League start. He has 13 Major League wins, 23 Major League losses.
Wild high, then wild wide, 2 and 2.
I remember when he came up with Boston, kind of up and down between the 2 years. They thought he could be a starter one day, and just wasn't any place to put him in that starting rotation. He was put in the bullpen as a long man for the Red Sox. Now getting a chance to start.
Sharp ground ball, backhanded by the shortstop Cabrera. Tomey's thrown out. The Twins waste the leadoff double by Mauer. It's still 3-1.
Bernard Span led off the ball game with a double. Hudson got him over to third, and then he ended up scoring on an RBI off the bat of Joe Mauer. Slowey was very strong at the beginning of the ball game, but he did give up a run in the 5th. An RBI double by Jason Donald, and then with bases loaded, Slowey came out of the ball game with 2 outs, and the first batter that Jesse Crane faced, Shelley Duncan, hit that double down the left field line to take a 3-1 lead. There you are here by Circle. Just married. Congratulations.
Crane now will start the 7th inning, and Jason Donald, who drove in the tying run his last time up with a double, will face Crane leading off the 7th. To short center. Bernard Span hustling in. 1 down. Get us back to the top of the order, and it's Drupal Cabrera. Masterson has done well. The first batter he faced, Span, doubled and scored. Since then, he's had the Twins bottled up. Cabrera is 0 for 3. And a strike. Cabrera struck out in the first, bounced out to Kadir in the 3rd, and hit a fly ball to Jason Kubel in right in the 5th. Up and away, 1-1. 2-1. Indians bringing up the rear in the American League Central. Now 3-1. Ten more losses, 10 fewer wins than the Twins. Twins 2.5 games out starting play today. And the Indians 12.5 out. Another one hit the center. And Spain with the catch out number 2.
Yeah, the Indians just didn't get off to a good start. 9-13 in April, 9-18 in May. A little bit better in June, 12-16, and so far in the month of July they are 9-7. Playing a little bit better baseball.
2 gone, and here's Jason Nix 0 for 3. Fastball up high.
Last night's ball game, Jason Nix started at second base. Here tonight, started in the left field. Cabrera coming back. Donald moving over from short to second.
And there's a strike. Crane has credited fellow bullpen mate John Roush for saying the same thing that pitching coaches have told Crane for a long time: just stay back.
Yeah, just keep that left shoulder in. And, you know, Rick Anderson said, I've been telling this guy for 2 months the same thing, but John Roush says something, all of a sudden he listens.
Just off the plate, 2-2.
You know what? And the thing is, when you're out on that bullpen, you know, you get that phone ringing, and then Rich Dalmasic says, hey, Jesse, get up. You want to get up and get her going because you might be in a ball game just like that. So everything is quick down there. Now all of a sudden you come out here and it's supposed to slow up. You're supposed to keep your shoulder in when you're out there just trying to get your arm loose.
A line drive caught by Punto, a 1-2-3-7. Stay tuned for the 7th inning stretch, brought to you by Medica. The second.
Ouch.
And Young jammed. And he's quickly retired for the first out of the 7th.
Yeah, the hardest hit ball was probably Denard's span.
Yeah.
Double to lead off the ball game. Other than that, he's pitched an outstanding ball game so far.
And one quick out in the 7th, and here's J.J. Hardy, who's over 2. Trevor Crow in the game now in left. And Michael Brantley in center.
So Nick's out of the ball game.
One gone, and now ball 1 to Hardy. And a striker underway at Safeco Field between the White Sox and the Mariners. Earlier this evening, Texas shut out the Tigers, and Armando Galarraga 8-0. And Hardy shoots him through the hole to right. So a base hit with 1 gone in the 7th, and that'll get Punto to the plate with an attaboy.
Good hitting right there by J.J. Hardy. A ball down in the strike zone, just took it the other way. We've seen J.J. Hardy do that a lot. He doesn't pull too many balls, more up the middle and towards right field.
Punto with the bunt single went to second on a wild pitch, was left there, and then leading off the 5th, he hit a ground ball to Donald at second base. Ball 1. Side 2-0. Rafael Perez warming up. Another lefty for the Indians. Tony Sipp pitched last night.
Yeah, pitched 100 right here for Masterson. And it's a strike. Pretty good job so far. The first inning, the most he needed to get out of the inning. 21 pitches.
Runner goes, and Punto flips it foul. So Hardy took off. Punto lofted a foul ball.
Yeah, Hardy not a base stealer, so a hit and run was put on right there by Scotty Alger and Ron Gardenhire. Got to get one of the middle infielders moving a little bit, create a hole somewhere.
He's been getting plenty of hits, but not tonight. Trying to get the offense kick-started here in the 7th inning. Hardy stays put. Punto pulls it foul. Twins wrap up this series in homestand tomorrow. Then they go to Baltimore for 4. And then go to Kansas City for 3. Punto got a piece of it. And still 2-2. Trying to string some things together here in the 7th after Hardy's single. And now Punto delivers a single. Hardy will hold up at second base. So a good at bat for Punto, and the 8 and 9 hitters get something started with 1 gone in the 7th.
Yeah, Punto just ball down in the strike zone, just got good wood on it, hit it sharply up the middle. Past the diving Donald underneath his glove at second. Underneath the glove of Masterson.
And so now the Indians will go to their bullpen and bring Perez in to face Span. Span 1 for 3 on the night against Masterson. He won't have a chance for a 4th at bat. Televising the game in Baltimore on Saturday. We're televising the game next Wednesday in Kansas City. And then we're also televising the game on the 31st. So we picked up some telecasts along the way. And the best thing we can suggest that you do is just keep it tuned right here. We'll try to take you all the way through the pennant race and hopefully to another division championship. Masterson will watch as Perez goes after Denard Span.
Yeah, Rafael Perez. Two Perez's down in that bullpen. Chris Perez, the closer. Now the Kerry Woods on the disabled list. Rafael Perez, a left-hander, 2-0 out of the bullpen, making his 41st appearance. 16 walks, 4 intentional with the 22 strikeouts in 33 and 2/3 innings.
Span has faced Perez 8 times, walked twice, 0 for 6 with 4 strikeouts.
Perez, pretty good fastball, slider, very good curveball. He'll pull that curveball when he gets ahead in the count. And a changeup. Perez, 27 years old, from the Dominican Republic, in his 5th season with the Indians.
Tying run at first, 1 away. Span swings and misses, 1 strike.
That's a slider right there. Good location, down and away. Pretty even both ways for Span.
Span not one to strike out an awful lot, but he's had a tough time making contact against the guy he's matched up with here. Makes contact, dumps it down the line. Fair ball. Great read by Hardy at second, and he will score. Hardy took off as soon as that ball left home plate, and it's 3-2.
Well, when you're at second base, you kind of turn around and you see where the outfielders are playing. And right off the end of the bat, almost shades of what Joe Mauer was able to do last inning. Hardy, seeing that this ball's going to drop in, Crow's not going to be able to get to it. And by the time Crow got to it, Hardy was about halfway home. So good read off the bat. Denard Span picking up his second hit, driving in his 40th run.
3 straight singles for the Twins in the 7th, and now Hudson. Tying run at second. The speedy Punto hoping to come around to score the tying run. Nice dig by Santana. Ball 1. And the shortstop Cabrera coming in to talk to Perez.
Hudson is a right-handed hitter, hitting .288, 4 home runs from this side, all 4 of them.
One and 0 to Orlando Hudson. A tapper to Scotty Elger. 1-1. Have some speed to work with out there, with Punto at second, Span at first, Joe Smith warming up in the Cleveland bullpen. I'd like to see those guys do some running here. Toward the hole. It'll bleed through. Punto around third. He's coming in to tie the game. A seeing eye single, and it's 3-3.
Well, both starters leading the game with runners in scoring position. Kevin Slowey, a couple of his runs scored. And Justin Masterson leading with a couple runners on, and both his runs scored. So Hudson just seeing that ball go right through the infield. Cabrera diving for it. He can't slow it down, and that allows Punto to score from second. So Hudson picking up his second hit, driving in his 27th run.
Masterson, who did such a good job bottling up this Twins lineup into the 7th inning, won't get a decision of any kind here. First and second, still 1 out. Mauer at the plate. bunt for an out. No sacrifice. Bauer tried to advance the ball up the third baseline. Instead, it stayed in the dirt, and Santana threw it out.
Yeah, I think Joe's idea was good. He just was unable to execute it what he wanted to do, and that was just a lay to get the ball on the grass a little bit closer toward the pitcher's mound or down the line. So a guy you'd like to drive in a run just tried to take it down that third baseline. Instead, Santana, who you're seeing jump out of that crouch position, ends up throwing him out at first.
Here's Kubel, 4 for 7 against Perez with a couple of doubles. If he can get a hit to the outfield here, he can drive in 2 more. Strike one. Tough night, though, for Kubel. He went down swinging against Masterson in the first. Robbed of a hit by Cabrera in the third, and then he took a fastball down the middle for a called third strike in the sixth. Another nice block by Santana. Santana looks like he's going to be a very good hitter, and what we've seen of him defensively, granted we haven't seen him throw yet. Looks like he's going to be a pretty good defensive catcher, too.
Well, we've seen him throw to first. I mean, 3 times already in these first 2 ball games, he's had to go out and get a bunt and get that runner out at first. They've not seen him throw to second.
Right. One and one to Kubel. And bouncer up the line. That'll end the inning. The Twins string together 4 singles to get it tied up in the 7th. McDonald's. Try a strawberry banana or wild berry real fruit smoothie today. McDonald's. I'm loving it. By Toyota. There are many reasons to buy a Toyota, and now's the perfect time to get yours during Toyota's national clearance event. And by Quest high-speed internet. Get blazing fast speeds that won't burn up your wallet. Twins scratching across a couple of runs in the bottom of the 7th. Now to the 8th, and Jose Majares will turn Carlos Santana into a right-handed batter.
Yeah, Majares did not appear at all in that White Sox series, and now he worked in last night's ball game. Through 1 inning, did give up a run on a couple hits through 18 pitches, making his 27th relief appearance.
Santana stung the ball 3 times against Slowey as a left-handed batter, so Majares at least giving him the challenge of hitting from the other side here, leading off the 8th inning.
Yeah, not as many at-bats as a right-handed hitter yet. Again, he just got called up on June 11th, but hitting only 171 from the right side of the plate with Santana.
And Maharis misses twice, 2-0. Santana, Hafner, and Peralta, the 3, 4, and 5 hitters for the Indians. Hafner, of course, a lefty, and Peralta, a righty.
Come in and throw strikes out of that bullpen.
Green pitched a 1-2-3 seventh after a couple of inherited runners scored to give the Indians a lead in the 6th. And a 4-pitch walk puts Santana aboard, leading off the 8th. And that'll bring up Hafner. Mac Guerrero warming up, and just the way that the bullpen is being used here tonight, I think, is indicating that if the Twins need a closer tonight, it might be Anthony Slava in his major league debut.
Let's hope they need him.
Guerrero warming up, Roush not available, Dunsing moving to the bullpen, Mahara's in, Crane is in. Hafner with a single and 3 trips. Breaking ball over first strike. One and one.
Hafner this year hitting .217 against left-handed pitching. One of his 8 home runs coming from this side of the plate. Excuse me, against the lefty. Santana at first base, a couple stolen bases in 2 attempts. Steve Little, bench coach, relaying signs to Joe Mauer.
Working the chart and the gum over here at the top of the 8th inning. Harris has thrown 7 pitches and just 1 strike. And Rick Anderson's going to come to the mound. Just tied it up on 4 singles. And the last thing you want to do is give the Indians a lead back.
One thing Rick Anderson was talking about, not only his starters but some of the relievers, just trying to do too much. They come out down in that bullpen, they're throwing the ball good, they're popping the glove, and then they come out here and they just try to overthrow a little bit. Maharis, one of those guys who's got a great arm, but he gets himself in trouble by getting into hitters' counts. So a good trip right there by Anderson, trying to settle him back down, get that fastball down and away, hit your spot.
And it might be, this will be the last man he faces here with Peralta, veteran hitter, and what might be a game-deciding at bat due up next. 2-1 to Hafner. Driven to the gap in right center field and won't be caught. Santana to third. He's being waved in, and the Indians are back in front. So Hafner with an RBI double after the leadoff walk, and just like that, Cleveland's back in front by a run.
Well, there's that hitter's count again, a fastball situation, and he'd like the ball down, but he pretty much threw it right there, and Hafner put a good swing on it. Good solid swing by Travis Hafner, driving in a run, his 2nd hit of the ball game, driving in his 32nd run of the year.
So an ineffective outing by Maharis. The Indians are back in front. Guerrero will pitch next.
just out of that bullpen for Rick Anderson and Ron Gardenhire. 40 innings and 2/3. He's given up 33 hits. Did a good job of keeping the ball in the ballpark. 3 home runs, but 2 of the 3 home runs were grand slams. So Matt Guerrero trying to get out of this situation here. Nobody out with Hafner at second.
Peralta, the hitter, singled and scored his last time up. Leadoff walk has already come back to hurt the Twins, and now a runner at second with nobody out. Down and away, ball 1.
Again, Peralta's job right here, as it's J.J. Hardy that's going to keep Travis Hafner close to the bag as Hudson kind of goes a little bit further at second base. He's going to try to maybe hit the ball the other way. Where he got his base hit in his last at-bat, a flare into right field.
And a swing and a miss on the breaking ball, 1-1. Indians getting a run in the 5th, 2 in the 6th. Scoreless 7th, but now 1 in the 8th. Just outside, 2-1.
That went with a breaking ball on a 1-1 pitch.
High pop-up, left field. Alvin Young comes in for the first out.
Yeah, that's not doing your job right there. Peralta wants to hit the ball out of the ballpark, but his main goal is to try to hit it the other way. Again, he's one of the veterans on the ball club, and that's what I'm sure Manny Actor would like to see, a little bit more of a challenge to try to hit it the other way. Instead, he popped it straight up, and Hafner still at second with 1 out.
Now Laporta. Laporta singled leading off the 5th and scored the first Cleveland run on a 2-out double by Donald, and he walked in the 6th, last man that Slowey faced on the night. Ball 1. Laporta had a couple of surgeries during the offseason, and maybe as a backup plan or insurance plan, the Indians signed Russell Brandon, but then they dealt him back to the Mariners and decided to run Laporta out there on a daily basis. I always felt, Bert, you pitched against the Twins team in the early 80s, but Twins took their lumps in the early 80s, but Billy Gardner, the manager, ran the likes of Gaetti and Gornansky and Herbeck and Lauder and all those guys out there and gave them their at-bats, let them take their lumps, but allowed the learning process to speed up along the way.
Well, you find out what you have. I mean, Laporta's going to get a chance. Maniac's going to, let him play. They let Russell Brandon go over to Seattle, and now he's got an opportunity. Watch Nick Punto. Oh boy, he really only had one play, and that was kind of barehanded. But I think when it hit the turf, a lot of spin on that ball. It kind of got away from him. And J.J. Hardy right there backing the play up. A little high chopper right here. Punto knows I got a barehanded. That hand is open, but then the ball ends up ricocheting behind him a little bit. It'll be an infield base hit for Matt Laporta.
And now Duncan, who drove in second and third Cleveland runs, the go-ahead runs with a single down the left field line, will come up with 2 men aboard again here in the 8th. Hardy with the catch and the underhanded toss for the double play. Line drive off the end of the bat. The Indians get one thanks to the leadoff walk. And it's 4-3.
We're 3 in the 8th inning, and we're going to break it all down immediately following last pitch on Quest Twins Live, featuring the Toyota postgame wrap. We'll talk about this Central Division showdown between the Twins and the Indians. We're also going to go over our instructional tonight, which will be Bunting 101. Nick Punto had a great bunt hit earlier, and we'll go down the art, break down the art of bunting tonight with Bert, with Tim, and the rest of the gang, and Anthony. Plus, we'll bring you Ron Gardenhire's postgame press conference live. Live press conference from the clubhouse is coming your way on Quest Twins Live. How about you got a birthday there in the stands, huh, Bert?
There you go, young man. 12 years old, enjoying the ball game. You are here by circle. The rally hat on. That's what the Twins need right here.
I'm trying to rally against Joe Smith into the ball game to pitch to Michael Kadire.
Yeah, Joe Smith, the sidearm type of delivery. Good sinking fastball. He's got a big sweeping breaking ball and a changeup in his second season with the Indians.
Kadire, Tomey, and Young. First pitch, nubbed right back to the mound. One down.
It's the third time Kadire's hit that ball right near the pitcher. He got that infield base hit, that high chopper over the pitcher, and the last 2 times up. Hit a ball right back to the pitcher. First time Masterson, here now Smith.
And now Tomey.
See the numbers of Smith right there. He started the season in the bullpen, then optioned out in late April, recalled on June 22nd.
Outside, ball 1. Of course, the infield shift on for Tomey. Breaking ball. Snaps over for a strike. 1-1. Tomey's faced Smith once before. Smith struck him out. Fastball with a little heat on it. 91 miles per hour. 1-2. Tomey has struck out twice tonight and bounced to short. Two and two. Ball to the shortstop. Cabrera throws him out, 2 down.
A good sinker right there. Gets Jim Thome to hit the ball on the ground for the second out.
Now Young, who was called out on strikes in the second, hit a deep fly to center. Nice catch out there by center fielder Crow at the time, and then tapped to third his last time up. And a little roller to short. Cabrera has it. And a quick 1, 2, 3 8th inning for Bill Smith. It's 4-3 Cleveland. And 4-3, the Indians have the lead as we go to the 9th inning. Matt Guerrero pitching to Trevor Crow. Guerrero got a line drive double play to get the Twins off the field in the top of the 8th, and now he'll go after Crow, Donald, and Cabrera.
We've seen Crow likes to bunt, so Nick Punto playing about even with the bag at third.
Off the glove of Guerrero, and it'll be an infield hit. So Crow gets his first hit tonight, 5th hit of the series, and he comes leading off the 9th inning.
Yeah, the high chopper right there, and Matt Guerrero tried to snare it with his glove, and it ended up hitting out of his glove and popping straight up. So Matt gives up his second hit of the ball game, and a leadoff single here by Trevor Crow.
And now Donald in what might be a bunting situation. Punto in on the edge of the grass at third. Seem to learn anything here in this series. It's every situation's a bunting situation. We've had some bunts at some curious times. Squares and bunts it hard to Cuddyer.
All time.
Oh, no. Willie Stargell do that once?
Yes, he did. It was a hit and run. He was going towards second base, and the hitter swung and missed, and Willie was out by 20 feet. And he kind of stopped and asked the umpire for time, put the tee up. But they didn't give it to him. They tagged him out.
Man, with that much seniority and that much respect in the game, and he still didn't get time out.
But to think about it that quickly, that was Willie Stargell. Unbelievable.
And at second, one out.
Man, he was.
Cabrera at the plate. 0 for 4 in his return to the lineup. And Guerrero with a breaking ball gets strike one. Bouncer to short. Hardy to Kanier, 2 down. The runner moves up another base. Throw now at third. You can join Orlando Hudson, Denard Span, and their teammates for the first annual Twins and Pins Charity Bowling Tournament coming up at the end of this month, July 29th in Brooklyn Park. If you'd like more information and to register for a great community event, a lot of fun, a great fundraiser for charity, go to www.twinsandpins.com. Something Hudson's done in his other stops in the major leagues, and he's brought the idea here to the Twin Cities, so we hope it all goes well. 2 down, and here's Brantley.
Well, just to come out, and I don't know if Ron Gardenhire's bowling or not, but he's got 300. He's bowled 300 games before. Just come out and watch him bowl.
I asked Hudson the other day how good of a bowler he is. He said, "Well, okay, he can bowl, but anybody can bowl. It's just you need to put a number on it. Are you going to bowl a 175, a 225, a 75?" Check swing, and he went. It's 2 strikes.
I wonder if they'll have those bumpers that they put in the gutters now. If they'll have those up.
That was one of the best things about having little kids when you went bowling.
What do you mean little kid? That was for me.
No, but see, when you go with the little kids, you can ask for the bumpers up, and you get to bowl with them too.
Yeah. Work on your angle bowling.
2 strikes to Brantley. Twins down a run here, top of the 9th. Bauer will go to the mound.
Yeah, Brantley started in last night's ball game in center field. He got 6 plate appearances. He walked once and picked up a couple hits, one of them being an RBI single.
Of course, Perez warming up in the Cleveland pen. He'll get a save situation unless the Indians really busted open here with 2 gone on the 9th. 2 strikes to Brantley. Curve tapped towards first. And foul. But that ball was going to hit the bag there for a while. Scoreless at Safeco Field, top of the 4th inning between the first place White Sox and Mariners. Texas shut out the Tigers 8-0. Another 2-strike pitch. Curve got him on the outside corner. What a pitch by Matt Guerrero to finish off the Indians in the 9th.
Maharis got a fastball up on a 2-1 pitch and hit that RBI double to give the Indians a 4-3 lead. Span with a couple hits, an RBI single in the 7th. Matt Guerrero, 2 shutout innings to keep the game at a 4-3 deficit. A new closer, someone that started the season as the closer for the Cleveland Indians, because Kerry Wood started the season on a disabled list, picking up 8 saves. Now Kerry Wood came back. He picked up 8 saves, but now it's Chris Perez again as the closer. The guy that the Indians got in the Mark DeRosa trade from the Cardinals last year.
And Wood's back on the disabled list with a blister problem. It'll be J.J. Hardy, Nick Punto, and Denard Span facing Perez. Pretty good numbers. Walks are a little bit high.
He's got a good fastball. He's got some sink on it. There's some movement right there. Hard slider, curveball, and a changeup.
Ball 1 to Hardy, who singled and scored his last time up. And a strike on the inside corner. Outside corner, 93, 93, 92, the velocity of the fastball. And Hardy flips one into center field. Brantley comes in. 1 away. Time for the Coors Light cold hard blast.
Well, it came in the 8th inning with the score tied 3-3. A 2-1 pitch. And Hafner didn't miss it. And Santana, who was at first base, scores all the way. You can see Joe Smith right there. Excuse me, Steve Smith, the third base coach, sending him in for the go-ahead run.
That got Santana in and drew the leadoff walk. Here's Punto. Pair of hits, a bunt single, ground ball single up the middle, and he takes strike 1. Baseman Peralta in on the grass at third.
They'll take the bunt away.
Strike 2. Punto winces, thinking the pitcher's outside.
Again, Perez has good sink on that fastball.
Oh, 2 with the number 9 hitter. Punto got a breaking ball and flared it foul.
Perez, just 24 years old, number 1 pick by the Cardinals back in 2006 out of University of Miami.
0-2 to Punto. 1-2. Keeping the at-bat alive. Twins on Sunday got 4 runs to beat the White Sox. Here they're trying to get at least 1 to keep the game alive against Cleveland. Foul tip. Santana hangs on, out number 2.
Perez just running back and challenging Punto and picks up a strikeout, the second out of the inning.
So 2 down. Last hope for the Twins. Span, who's got a couple of hits. Double and a run scored in the first. An RBI single in the 7th. Strike on the outside corner. Perez not only throwing strikes, but he's hitting the very fringes of the strike zone. Low 1-1. Indians lost 2 out of 3 here earlier this year. They're threatening to win the first 2 of this series. Picked up by the third baseman Peralta, and the Indians have beaten the Twins again. Kevin Slowey with a decent start for the Twins, but the Indians have won the first 2, and right now it's a 500 homestand.
Let's take a look at our Jimmy John's delivery of the game, and it came off the bat of Travis Hafner in the 8th inning, the RBI double.
Well, the Twins won 3 in a row against the White Sox, but they've lost this series, Anthony, to the Cleveland Indians. Now need to win tomorrow to avoid being swept
by the suddenly red-hot Indians, who are the hottest team in the American League with 6 consecutive wins. We'll show you how they did it. Our instructional will show you how to bunt, and we'll hear from Gardy next on Quest Twins Live.